Na barabara kabisa popote pale ulipo, basi ni Jumatatu tarehe 13 mwezi Julai, na kukaribisha kwa moyo mkunjufu kwa NTV. Sasa mimi nafahamika kama Jane Ngwiri. Mtazamaji, ikiwa ni siku Jumatatu, basi katika NTV sasa tunaangazia masuala kuhusu siasa, na siku ya leo tunaelekeza macho yetu katika eneo la magharibi mwa nchi na kuangazia siasa za Mulembe, ama ukipenda siasa za Ingoho. Na watakao nisaidia katika mada yetu ya leo ni Rafael Wanjala, mbunge wa Budalangi, Ayub Savula, mbunge wa Lugari, pamoja na Catherine Omanyo, mchambuzi wa masuala ya kisiasa. Lakini kabla hayo, kuna mengi ambayo yanaendelea humu nchini kwa hivi sasa. Nataka kupeleka katika majengo ya bunge tupate kumsikiza waziri wa mazingira Keriako Tobiko akizungumzia swala la ubomoaji ambao unapaswa kufanyika katika mtaa wa Lang'ata.
Invalidity, the story that he's telling is not adding up. What we want to know is, Muhisa Kitui asked the CS, Honorable Lotodo, to cancel the Gazette notice with immediate effect. Was that done? If it is no, these others are just stories. And if it was not done, have you done it yourself to cancel that Gazette notice? Because the request was cancel the Gazette notice. And nobody in the reference that you've made, no attachment, no evidence is there to show that there was an attempt to cancel this legal notice. So as it is still valid. As for the purposes of whether, when government, as you sit there, you give us the position of government, we don't sit in cabinet. When you come and say you want to use this land for a specific purpose, and later on you change your mind, that is government. How it ended up landing in private hands is not our business. We want to know whether the legal Gazette notice number 44 of 1988 was cancelled.
I think, honourable members, let's kindly be able to give the opportunity to the Cabinet Secretary to be able to answer to all the questions which we had posed to him, and then subsequently we can be able to ask other supplementary questions so that we don't really lose the track. And when I see us, but you're going to come there later. You're going to kindly proceed. You can just note what Musmoida just indicated, but kindly just proceed to the logical conclusion of all the issues which you had raised. Then subsequently, I'm going to raise all those further clarification.
As you direct. Yeah. As you direct. Then the other Gazette notice, actually legal notice, is number 77 of 1997. It is at where is it? Where is it? Why is number 77? I'm trying to get a copy of where to refer to. Chairman, I'm trying to trace the legal notice. Just legal notice number 79. Sorry? What page is it on the record? This one, Now it's at page one. It is at page 182. That is legal notice 79 of 1997. Now, Chairman, from there you see in our page 176 that Gazette notice, the purpose for which that Gazette notice was intended is not indicated. And secondly, and this is very important, and also again addressed at great length by the Ndungu Land Commission, the boundary plan, because the legal notice must have a boundary plan so that you are able to locate the area to be degazetted with the ground. That boundary plan does not exist anywhere at all. And thirdly, and more fundamentally, there was not
Na mtazamaji, basi huyo ni Waziri wa Mazingira Keriako Tobiko akiwa mbele ya kamati ya bunge kuzungumzia hifadhi ya msitu wa Ngong. Kama nilipotangulia kusema hapo awali, tunazungumza kuhusu siasa za Mlembe, na studioni niko naye Catherine Omanyo ambaye ni mchambuzi wa masuala ya kisiasa, pamoja na Rafael Wanjala, mbunge wa Budalangi. Na katika NTV sasa tunakuuliza, je, vuta ni kuvute katika siasa za magharibi zinaashiria nini? Je, vuta ni kuvute katika siasa za magharibi zinaashiria nini? Sema nasi kupitia mitandao yetu ya kijamii Facebook, Twitter @JaneGweriOfficial @NTV. Sasa bila shaka nitakuwa nasoma mawili matatu kutoka kwenu, lakini kabla ya hayo tupate taarifa kuhusu siasa za magharibi.
Ni eneo bunge la Teso Kusini, kaunti ya Busia.
We do not want to keep lamenting, and we cannot have people who have been in government lamenting, oh barabara hakuna.
As a community, as a region, and we are advocating for all people who live in Western Kenya to live in harmony.
Lakini kundi la Wetangula na Musalia lililokuwa nyumbani kwake mbunge wa Lugari Ayubu Savula linapuuza haya yote. Wetangula na Musalia wanasema kundi la Oparanya linalenga kuwapumbaza wenyeji kwa miradi bandia ya serikali ya Jubilee.
You cannot be a governor and you go around your county escorted by 3 trucks of policemen to see the people who elected you. It never happens. When that happens, you know your days are truly numbered.
If you are confident and you know you have the people with you, then why are you worried about Musalia? You can only be worried because you are not with the people. The message you are sending is not resonating with the people of Kenya.
Kundi linalounga mkono azma ya naibu wa Rais William Ruto lilikongamana katika eneo bunge la Mumias Mashariki. Kundi hili linataka Musalia na Wetangula kutafuta mwafaka na kundi la Wamalwa, wakisema hiyo ndio njia pekee ya jamii ya Mulembe kuheshimika.
Kuna rafiki mmoja ambaye yuko rafiki wa kweli, naibu wa rais anaitwa William Ruto. Musalia anaongea na yeye.
Sisi watu ya Western lazima tupeleke Musalia Mudavadi. Lazima tuulizane sisi wote tuko na kura ngapi. Na kama hatuna hiyo kura ya kutosheleza hiyo kura milioni 8 plus, hizo zingine balance zinatoka.
Kundi chipukizi linaloongozwa na seneta wa Kakamega Cleophas Malala limekuwa likinyoosha kidole cha lawama kwa kundi la waziri Eugene Wamalwa kwa kile linasema ni kumhadaa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta kuhusu matakwa ya wenyeji.
Appointments za mkoa wa Magharibi, tukianza kuappoint watu katika serikali yoyote, iwe national government, iwe county government, kama hakuna jina ya kijana, basi we are not part of that team.
Itakuwaje wewe upatiwe nafasi 15? Mheshimiwa Rais amesema kwamba tunataka majina 15 kutoka mikoa ya Magharibi waje wapatiwe nafasi katika serikali kuu. Hauwezi hata kuonyesha hata kijana mmoja useme huyu ni youth ambaye tumeweka hapa.
Stop being wale watu ambao wanafuata watu kwa magari. Saidia, it's God. na kuna wazee ambao wanaleta traffic jam mbele.
Zacchaeus Masame, NTV.
Na shukrani sana Zacchaeus Masame kwa taarifa hiyo, na namwona mbunge Raphael Wanjala. Hisia zako kuhusu taarifa hiyo? Kwa nini jamii ya Mlembe haizungumzi kwa sauti moja?
Sisi ni viongozi na tunazungumza kwa sauti moja. Sisi wananchi watazungumza kwa sauti moja. Kabla watu hawajafikiana kuongea sauti moja, lazima watafautiane kwanza, ndio baadaye waongee na sauti moja.
Hivyo basi unasema hii ni demokrasia?
Hiyo ni demokrasia.
Lakini tukiangalia maeneo mengine, na nitakuuliza tu Raphael Wanjala, tukiangalia viongozi katika eneo la Ingo wamechaguliwa kwa ODM, NC, Jubilee, Ford Kenya, lakini ukiangalia maeneo mengine inapata ni chama tu kimoja na kila mtu anaingia hapo.
Ni demokrasia, bado ni demokrasia. Na ujue Waluya tulikuwa mstari wa mbele kupigania demokrasia, na Mluya si lazima apigie Mluya kura hata kama hawezi fanya kitu. Lazima wale watu wamesimama kura ya urais waangalie ni nani anaweza kutupeleka kwa serikali, na hivyo ndio wanafanya. So wengine watapiga kwa sababu mtu wao hakuna hapo, lakini kuna wakati mtu wao alikuwa Waluya walipiga kura na sauti moja wakati wa Amadu 2002. Waluya tena wakapiga kura 2007 wakati mtu wao alikuwa. So kama mtu wao hayuko hapo, si lazima watapiga tofauti. Na hata hawa Kikuyu mara ngapi wamepiga tofauti wakati wa Matiba na Kibaki, wakati ya Uhuru na Kibaki tena.
Hivi basi, lakini mnahisi kwa hivi sasa bado hamuna, kama nimempata vizuri Catherine, ni kama wanasema kwamba kwa sasa hamuna mtu ambaye ule mnaweza mfuata nyi wote?
Tunaye kwa sasa hivi kiongozi ambaye Waluya wanaangalia, ambaye aliteuliwa Buhungu, ni Mudavadi. Lakini pia Oparanya na Eugene wamejitokeza. Sasa sioni pale shida, wote ni viongozi. Mwingine ni kiongozi wa Waluya na wengine wanajaribu kuweka Waluya pamoja. Shida hapa sio uongozi. Kuna Nyangumi na Papa pale. Wote ni majibabe. So ukiweka Pwaju na Pwajuzi mahali, lazima kuwe na vishindo kama hivyo. Lakini mimi ningelipenda saa zile wanapiga siasa. Wapige siasa huku wakisema hii ng'ombe tulisaidiana kuua, saa ya kugawa nyama. Mbona sioni Mluya akisema hapa ni petu, hapa ni petu? Hata juzi committees wakigawa, sikuwa naona waheshimiwa kutoka Western wakisema hata viongozi wa hizi committee lazima mwingine atoke Busia, mwingine atoke Vihiga, mwingine Kakamega, mwingine Bungoma. So ninataka hata pia kuambia ndugu yangu mkubwa hapa, kwa hizi committee kwanza tuanzie hapo. Unajua ukitaka kuwa kiongozi lazima opposition watu wako. Ukiangalia left unaona mtu wako pale fulani. Uwezi kuwa unasema zile ng'ombe ambazo zinakula nyasi ni za jirani kila siku, mpaka useme na mimi unajua hiyo nyeusi ambayo iko na pindo nyeupe hiyo ni yangu. Kwa hivyo zote zikila nyasi na unajisikia yako iko ndani.
Lakini tatizo liko wapi? Manake tukiangalia kama jamii ya Mlembe ni kana kwamba hawana msimamo.
Shida tu ni kila mtu ni kichwa ngumu saa zingine, tena kila mtu saa zingine maono ambaye yako na hafuati akafikisha mwisho. So pale naona tuko na viongozi wazuri sana, tena nikiwaona najisikia. Lakini mbona hatukunyishi goal? Unajua tuwezi kuwa tunacheza mpira tu na kukunyisha tu goal bao, hapo ndio shida iko. So lazima kila mtu aje afikirie vizuri. Hata kama wanang'ang'ana ni sawa. Unajua ukikuwa na watoto wote wamezubaa pale hawapiganii kitu, pia kama mama unakuwa na shida. So ni vyema tu vile kila mtu amesimama, lakini tutawanyishwe. Mimi sioni kama Waluya wametawanyishwa, viongozi ndio wametawanyishana wenyewe huko juu. Sasa wengine tayari wako kwa meza na wengine bado tuko kwa menu. Sasa nitakana hao wenye bado kwa menu wajui chenye tuvutwe kwa kuzidi, wakienda wakiongea waseme shida yetu tuko wengi lakini hatupigi kura. Mwenye hana ID enda uchukue ID na watueleze umuhimu. Juu kuna watu wengine hata waelewi kama nani ndio president, hawajali. Chenye nimejua Mluya anataka aweze kujisimamia gharama, sio kuombaomba. Kweli hii umaskini imetufanya kidogo tukachanganyikiwa, tukiona mheshimiwa yeyote akuwe Mkikuyu akuwe Mjaluo, bora ni mheshimiwa, tunakimbia mbio usaidizi. But mimi vile najua, vile nazidi kuongea na Nafula na Simiu na Dagala kule chini, wanataka wajisimamie, na saa zile Mluya atakuwa na pride yake, it will be very hard kuangusha Mluya akisimama kama president. Because sioni nini inaweza kutushinda pale. Ni ile tu mtu ni mwerevu, anajua ndio nyumba ya Mlembe iko na baba mmoja, lakini kwa sababu kuna mama wengi, wacha tushike huu mama. So unapata mwingine anaanza kusema sisi wa Maragoli, sijui sisi wa Bukusu, sisi wa Hayo, na hiyo ndio inafanya kura zetu zinatawanyika, which is somehow a weakness.
Nataka kusema hivi kwanza, nitaanza na kuambia dada yangu, labda ajajua, nataka nimjulishe ya kwamba mahali umesema hapo ndio tulianzia. Wakati wa komiti za bunge hapo ndio tulianzia. Kwanza chief whip majority anatoka Western Kakamega. Ule wa minority chief whip naye anatoka Bungoma. Sasa hizi viti zingine kesho ndio utajua, sitaki kusema saa hii vile zimeenda, sitaki kusema saa hii kwa sababu kesho ndio sasa zinasomwa kwa floor of the house. So hapo ndio utajua tulikuwa tunafanya
mnajipanga.
Na nataka kukubaliana na wewe ya kwamba Buhungu Musalia Mudavadi alitawazwa kama kiongozi, lakini makosa ilifanyika. Yeye kama kiongozi anataka kuongoza Waluya. Sisi hapa tunatafuta kiongozi wa kuongoza nchi. So hiyo yake ya spokesman ya kuongoza Waluya hatuna nayo shughuli, aendelee. Akitaka kuwa watchman, gatekeeper, nini spokesman, hiyo aendelee. Oparanya na Eugene hawatafuti kuwa spokesman wa Waluya, wanatafuta kuwa viongozi wa Kenya, Waluya wakiwa ndani. Kwa hivyo kitu wanafanya ni kujulisha Waluya ya kwamba sisi tumeanza safari, tumekuwa na ndugu zetu mbele, lakini kazi yao ilikuwa kuongoza Waluya. Hata wakaanza kuunda vyama vya villages. Ukiona ANC, chama cha ANC, kiongozi ni Musalia Mudavadi, anatoka Vihiga, Sabatia. Huyu deputy wake anaitwa Savula. Savula kwao ni Vihiga, alihamia tu Lugari, anatoka Bunyore. Ukitoka hapo, secretary general wake anatoka Huisero. Huisero was part of, Vihiga was part of Kakamega. Ukiona treasurer anatoka Butere.
Hivi basi unamaanisha sio kila mtu ambaye amejumuishwa.
Sio kila.
Na kuna mmoja hapa katika Twitter anajiita Good Sako, anasema kwa maana yake tumeuliza, je, vuta ni kuvute katika siasa za magharibi zinaashiria nini? Anasema lack of unity with many languages and sub-tribe will never come together mpaka Yesu arudi. Anasema hivyo.
Pia hiyo ni maoni yake. Lakini ukienda kwa Ford Kenya pia utapata, ukisikia party leader anatoka Bungoma, secretary general anatoka Bungoma. Na mimi nilikuwa mtu wa Ford Kenya, lakini wakati nilikuwa mtu ya Ford Kenya, party leader wa Ford Kenya alikuwa Michael Kijana wa Malu kutoka Trans Nzoia. Deputy yake alikuwa James Orengo kutoka Nyanza. Secretary general alikuwa Gitobi Manyara kutoka Meru Eastern. Sasa ndio, na huyu Oparanya ni nani na Eugene ni nani? Oparanya ako kwa chama, the biggest party in Eastern Central Africa. The party is called ODM. He's the deputy party leader. Eugene ako kwa chama gani? Eugene ako kwa Jubilee, a party that is ruling this country today. Hawezi enda kwa mambo ya vyama ya villages. So sisi tunaongea huko Jubilee, wanaonaje Eugene? Tunapeana Eugene nguvu wakimpa nafasi. Tuko tayari. Na huku kwa ODM, Raila ajue tuko nyuma ya Oparanya. In case akimpa nafasi, tuko tayari. Lakini wale wanataka kuwa spokesman wa village parties, Musalia na Wetangula, they are free. We have no business. We are not
Lakini mbona
at that
basi
level.
Kama ulivyotuelezea mheshimiwa, mbona msiwaelezee hao ndiposa muje sasa kama sauti moja?
Hakuna nyumba ambaye hakuna wasiwasi ama joto. So hiyo ilikuwa tu makosa moja au mbili ambayo imepatikana katika ile nyumba ya Mlembe. Na mimi kitu ambacho ninasema, saa zingine au tunapata nafasi lakini tunaharibu. Unajua, mimi naamini kwamba region yetu ya Western ingekuwa the richest. Mbona viwanda vimeenda hivi na tumekuwa na hao watu wakubwa sitaki kutaja. Kwa cabinets kwa nini inangoji? Mbona ilenge mwaka wa karibu siasa. Tuanze sasa kuamsha. Hizi siku zingine watu huwa wamekufa. Alafu tukielekea siasa ndio watu wanataka kuishi. Yafaa watu wasikue wanakaa, wanatoka Western wanakuja Nairobi. Ukienda almost gate zote watchman ni Mluya. Ukienda maids kwa manyumba karibu zote ni Mluya. Na si ati hawakusoma. Watoto wanatwanga kizungu mpaka unasema hai. Na uko kwa gate wendo unangoja gate. You know, yafaa viongozi wetu ambao wamekaa kule, sio tu kukaa kwa meza, lakini jiulize, hii region yetu tutasukuma kina nani? Kila saa, sio tu siku moja, kila saa kanyafasi kakitokezea unanyaku haraka na unaingiza. Hivyo tutagrow, alafu itafika mahali hatutakuwa omba. Tutajisimamia na watu watakuwa wanakuja Western wakitafuta kazi, wakituheshimu. Kuna mbunge, lakini ni late, spendi kusengenya watu walikufa. Alisema ukitaka maids na watchman unaenda Western. Unajua, nikiwa mdogo hiyo kitu ilinibaki kwa kichwa. Na kila saa huwa ninasema nikipata nafasi, hata kabla sijapata nafasi, I'm part of the solution. But nataka wale ambao tayari wana nafasi, tusikue tunapiga tu kelele kwa TV. But action ikue louder. Even right now, unajua mheshimiwa saa yako ndani, kuna siku tulikuwa na yeye nje but akanishinda, ameingia, mimi bado niko kwa njia. Ana sauti. Hii sauti yake kubwa hii, akishaitoa mtu mwenye alikuwa anataka kutuchezea aone how serious yuko, hata tuchezea. Na ningependa watu kama hao mbele, wenye wanasukuma na kitu inasukumika inaonekana. Sio kuongea tu.
Na katika Twitter nasoma baadhi.
Ningependa tu kuambia dada yangu ya kwamba vile amesema wale watu walikuwa kwa hizo cabinet ndio wale spokespeople wa Waluhya. That is why tumeonelea hatutaki jambo mbele yetu, tutoe sisi tuende mbele.
Ndio maana mnawatenga sasa na mnakuwapatia mgongo.
Tumewaambia tuliwafuata, wao pia watufuate. Lakini hawataki kutufuata, wanataka sisi tuendelee kuwafuata Western ikiharibika. Vile tumekuja pamoja na tukaongea na rais, nataka kuambia leo ya kwamba shida ilikuwa ina sugar industry yetu, ndio tunatatua sasa. Tayari bilioni 62 last week ambazo zilikuwa ni madeni na taxes
zimetolewa katika viwanda vya sukari ya Mumias na Nzoia.
So that investors wanaweza sasa kuja kuinvest. That's a step forward. Na mambo mingi umesikia hata mheshimiwa Wetangula akisema tulienda kwa rais akatupatia nafasi 15. Sasa hizo ndio nafasi za kazi. Kitu tuseme Mluhya yule anapata nafasi pale, naye akumbuke wadogo kule chini. That is why tumetoka kusema hapana, enough is enough. They are our brothers. We have supported them all these years. Mimi Musalia alikuwa kwa cabinet nikiwa shule. These companies zimecollapse Musalia akiwa hapo. He is a beneficiary. So tumesema enough is enough.
Na mheshimiwa, haya ni maoni yako na maana yake hayuko hapa kujitetea. Utaniruhusu tu nisome baadhi ya maoni. Kuna Calvin Sanya anasema pride and ego Jane, these guys have no community or regional interest at heart. They are using divide and rule just to manipulate the people, nothing tangible. Walk in the Western region and see for yourself. Anasema poor development plans for the very people who want to rule the government. Anasema huko hakuna maendeleo.
Maendeleo iko. Watu unajua hata ikifika wakati wa umaskini, si Western pekee tuko na umaskini. Niko because tunatembeanga Kenya hata wakati wa BBI, wakati wa siasa zetu tunatembea Kenya. Wacha nikwambia kuna mahali watu hawaombi wabunge. Everywhere you go, mkirudi kwa magari watu wamejaa na mwana hivi. It's not only Western, iwe Nyanza.
Lakini kwa nini mheshimiwa iwe hivyo?
Ni kwa sababu serikali zilizoko with especially wakubwa wameiba nchi, is not growing kwa accommodate wale watu wanakuja kwa mambo ya investment wapate kazi. So hakuna kazi. If the government was able to be creating jobs, hawa vijana wangekuwa wako na kazi. Lakini kule kuingine sasa si Western pekee. Utapata mtu wako na degree na anaendesha bodaboda. Na si eti hawezi fanya kazi nyingine, ni kwa sababu kazi hakuna.
Hata kuna moja
ukiangalia the number of universities today in this country and the number of people they are producing every year. Lakini serikali imeshakaa ikajiuliza, we have created so many universities, we are producing manpower so much. How do we also accommodate them in terms of employment? And that is why possibly the government has thought it wise to change system ya serikali, ya education, walete ile system mtu akimaliza masomo labda anaweza kujiandaa.
Na naelezwa kwamba pia tunaungana na mbunge wa Lugari Ayub Savula ambaye yuko katika chumba chetu cha habari. Kama unanipata mheshimiwa, tulikuwa tunazungumza kuhusu siasa za magharibi na tunauliza swali, kwa nini sasa siasa za Ingo ama viongozi wa Ingo wazungumzi kwa sauti moja? Tatizo liko wapi kwa maoni yako?
Viongozi wa magharibi wazungumzi kwa sauti moja kwa sababu ya reason moja tu. Kila mtu anajitakia. Na sisi hatutaki kila mtu ajitakie. Wananchi wa Western wameungana, wale wa Teso, wa Luya na Wasabot. Wananchi wako sawa. Ni viongozi wanajitakia. Kuna camps mbili. Na mimi nimedecide kusupport camp moja ya kwenda mbele. Camp ile inatafuta urais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
Uko kwa camp gani?
Ya camp yangu, mimi ni deputy party leader wa ANC. Camp yangu ni Musalia Mudavadi, who wants to be president. Kampu yangu pia ni ya Moses Wetangula because he has a political party. Kampu ile nyingine ni mfanyikazi wa serikali who is not supposed to be involved in politics, Eugene Wamalwa. Kampu ile nyingine iko na gavana wangu na mheshimu Wycliffe Ambeza Oparanya. Hajatuambia anataka nini, lakini kwa ground anataka kurudi kwa mjumbe wa Butere. Tutasupport presidential candidate ili sisi to form serikali ama tutasupport camp yenye inataka kuturudisha nyuma. Which camp is senior there? The camp that is senior ni camp ya Musalia Mudavadi, who wants to be president of the Republic of Kenya. And Luyas, we have the numbers. We are number 1 in population in this country. We put together our numbers. Then we seek support from other communities. Ili we are sent to the bigger position. Hawa wanasema wanataka kutupeleka kwa serikali. Eugene is already a cabinet minister in the government. Which government does he want to take us? Atupeleke serikali gani? Oparanya anasema tupeleke serikali. Serikali gani ingine anataka kupeleka? And he is a government. The constitution says a government is running a government. Which other government does he want to take us to? No. Let me just explain. I know Raphael Wanjala where you're coming from.
knows very well Oparanya is in opposition.
He's running government. No.
Raphael Wanjala is in opposition.
The constitution.
Government. Eugene being in government anatuambia twende. So we have an opportunity.
The constitution is very clear. We have 24 county governments and 1 national government. Oparanya is running a government. Eugene is an employee of the government. He's a cabinet secretary. So you talk about development. Eugene is supposed to initiate development through the cabinet because cabinet inapitisha budget.
Lakini nitakuuliza mheshimiwa, kwa nini inakuwa vigumu nyinyi wote kuweka tofauti zenu kando na kuzungumza tu kwa sauti moja?
No, hawa ni auctioneers. They want to put us in one basket, then the auctioneers to the highest bidder. Tell us. Oparanya does not have a party. Musalia has a party called ANC. Eugene does not have a party. Wetangula has a party called Ford Kenya. Hao wengine wana chama gani? Wanataka kutu auction kwa ODM. We have no problem with working with Raila, but work through a structured way. Let's consolidate under these 2 parties. Then now we eat Raila kwa meza. Tuite Huru kwa meza. Tukie kwa vyama vyetu. Not playing games here. Unajua Wanjala, I know Wanjala, his problem is, and me I pity him. Because if he's not in ODM, he will not deliver that seat of Budalangi. Because half of the voters there are Baba. So let's not play those kind of politics. Wanjala wewe tutakusamea.
No,
lakini sisi the Western Kenya part. Wewe toka kwa Raila leo tuone kama utarudi. Wewe utaanguka.
I have no problem with what he has said. Equally yeye pia atoke kwa Musalia leo kama hataanguka.
No, Wanjala.
No, yeye pia atoke NC kama hataanguka. Because kwao sasa hiyo ni chama ya village. Na lazima uende kwa village. Lakini kwetu we deal with the national parties.
Wanjala,
So kwetu paka nikuwe kwa national party.
Let me just
I
say,
can't
Wanjala,
go to a village
Wanjala,
party.
my ancestral home.
The time I was in Bungoma,
my ancestral home is Vihiga County.
I said that.
I am a member of parliament in Kakamega County,
I
where
said that.
I am a minority, and
I
I'm going
said
to be
that.
the governor as a minority.
Look here. if
mimi
you want to
nitasema.
assume Musalia can be a
Ninyi
president
ndio
of this
oga.
country,
Ninyi ndio oga.
and his
Simama kama
village
mwanaume
mate
wa
is his
chama cha
vice
ANC ama
president.
Ford Kenya. If you want to
the
compete
village
with
mate
us.
is the deputy president, then where are we going to?
Tunataka uongozi yenye iko na impact.
Quality leadership.
Hatutakiko hii power you empower lakini hakuna impact.
Mtu unasema unataka kuwa prime minister na katiba ijakuwa change.
Akikuwa mahali naye watu wanawakilisha wamefurahi.
Wamefurahi naam.
Sio tu kukua atina umeshika koti ya mwingine, umeshika koti ya mwingine, na we pia ni mwanaume simama. As in
mwanaume simama.
Na utaniruhusu tu, kuna mmoja hapa anajiita Domi Patriot anasema nafuatilia mazungumzo yenu kutoka Kakamega. Anasema hao viongozi wanapaswa kujua wananchi ndio wanapaswa kuamua kulingana na manifesto za viongozi. Waache kupiga siasa, watuletee manifesto zao ambazo zitaangazia masuala ya uongozi na maendeleo katika eneo la magharibi mwa nchi. Haya basi mtazamaji, unaendelea kutazama NTV. Sasa tunazungumza kuhusu siasa za magharibi ama siasa za mlembe. Kumbuka wakati wote kuanzia sasa tunasubiri taarifa rasmi kutoka Wizara ya Afya kuhusu janga la corona humu nchini, kutoka makao makuu ya Wizara ya Afya katika jumba la afya. Pindi tu watakapokuwa tayari tutakwenda huko, lakini hapa studioni tunaendelea na mazungumzo yetu na Rafael Wanjala, Ayub Savula pamoja na Catherine Omanyo. Kwa sasa NTV sasa inapumzika, lakini usikae mbali, turejea na mengi zaidi.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola, taste the simple joys.
Blue Pan Margarine. New look, same great taste.
Oh my, oh my, oh my days. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Never understood. Life can be this good.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola, taste the simple joys.
You save by not having to use multiple products. And you only rinse once. For a laundry soap that can help save you time, water, and money, try Whitewash Extra. Brand power, helping you buy better.
Kenya is moving to cement its position in global trade.
Pleasure. Wonderful to have us.
Negotiations of a free trade area with the United States. Initiation of a post-Brexit trade deal with the United Kingdom. And back home, solidifying its backyard through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. What is in these deals for Kenya? This Tuesday, Business Redefined explores Kenya's bilateral trade position.
Madam ulikuwa umesema ni emergency, umenitoa nyumbani nikupatie remote.
Unatuibia sisi?
Madam, hapana.
Sisi tunakulisha? Tunakupatia
Ni mimi Kush. Nitadeal na wewe one on one.
Get an 8-acre prime residential plot with soil merchants in Kisamis along Magadi Road at 148,000 Kenya shillings for cash buyers or 195,000 Kenya shillings for installment buyers. SMS plot to 21595.
I did everything so that I wouldn't lose you. I kept our family together while you chased after your dreams. But I guess I was wrong. Our family has long been destroyed, and you destroyed it yourself, Salvador.
Somebody please call the police.
Arrest that woman!
Try it. I dare any of you. Just let me say my piece if you don't want any trouble here.
When you talked to me the night when Anna went missing, Sam, you looked so scared. Were you afraid because you were there when it all happened?
Enjoy the naturally appealing taste of our unique fruit blends. Represent who you naturally are with Juice Drink. Naturally ours with no added preservatives. A quality product from Bidco Africa.
In partnership with the Ministry of Health, let's join together in following the set protocols. Wear your mask, sanitize, maintain social distance, and have your temperature checked each time you visit our stores. Naivas saves you money.
Naam, karibu tena kwa NTV. Sasa tunaendelea na mazungumzo yetu kuhusu siasa za magharibi. Tuko na Rafael Wanjala, mbunge wa Budalangi, Ayub Savula, mbunge wa Lugari, pamoja na Catherine Omanyo, mchambuzi wa masuala ya kisiasa. Na kuna KOT Think Tank anasema ndio posa kuwezi kuwa na kiongozi ama rais kutoka eneo la magharibi. Savula, maanake anasema, na mimi nitaongezea tu, tuelezee kwa nini miaka hii yote tumeweza kumwona Musalia Mudavadi pamoja na Wetangula na wameshindwa kuunganisha Wakenya hata baada ya handshake, kuunganisha jamii ya Waluya. Baada ya handshake walisema kwamba sasa kutakuwa na sauti moja. Savula,
hao jamaa hawajashinda kuunganisha jamii. Ukiangalia vizuri, na Jane, acha nikueleze tu hesabu ya Waluya. Ukiangalia vizuri, Kakamega County kulikuwa na wajumbe wa ODM last general election after 2013 election, wajumbe 7 ODM. Saa hii after 2017 general election, saa hii sisi tuko wajumbe 6 watu wa ANC. ODM ina wajumbe wawili peke yake. Vyama vile vina control Western ni chama cha ANC na chama cha Ford Kenya. Ukiweka hawa wajumbe wa Ford Kenya na ANC pamoja, out of 33 MPs, there are 24. ODM wana control Busia County, Kakamega wana wajumbe wawili, Kizito na ule wa Mumias West Naika. Bungoma ODM hawana mjumbe wote. So ukiangalia hii community ya Waluya imeungana kwa hiyo vyama viwili, hiyo ndio vyama vya Waluya. ODM si chama cha Mluya. Leader wa ODM ni rafiki yangu na mheshimu Raila Amolo Odinga. Tunajua na control Busia, lakini tunaingia polepole. Sisi tunataka Waluya wote waingie kwa hizi vyama viwili. Tusijali qualities za leader, direction is the best. Direction ile tunaelekea, direction ile tunaelekea. Direction moja nimalize.
Chama ya Waluya.
Moja ile tumalizie.
That is why tuliwaambia hawa kazi yao wanataka kuwa spokesman wa Waluya.
Sijaongea juu ya spokesman ya Waluya.
Nini ya Waluya? Mimi sisi hatutaki kuwa vyama ya Waluya. Kama ni vyama ya Waluya hiyo hata katiba haikubali. Tunataka chama cha kitaifa. Ndio sisi tuko kwa chama cha ODM. Ndio Eugene ako kwa chama ya Jubilee. Hapo ndio mtu anaweza tokea wa kuongoza nchi. Sasa Western peke yake.
Haya, wacha nieleze.
Man to man. Huwezi kuwa rais.
Hii swali umeuliza swali ya Western.
Hata sasa
hii swali umesema
eti ndio Musalia anaenda kupiga magoti.
Umesema swali ya Western. Umesema swali la Western. Ford Kenya is a national party. Ina mjumbe Kisii. Wewe unakaa bunge hauelewi. Ford Kenya ina mjumbe Coast. Unakaa bunge hauelewi. ANC ina mjumbe Coast. Unakaa bunge hauelewi. Ndio nakwambia, don't just reason around ODM. Reason beyond the divergence those issues. If you want to talk to the central community, you must go through Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And that Michuki aliwaambia openly. If you want to talk to the Luo community, you must go through Raila Amolo Odinga. If you want to talk to the Kalenjin community, you must go through William Samoei Ruto. If you want to talk to the Luo community, you must go through Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi.
Unaona sasa wale watu wanafanya biashara ndio hao.
Ndio sasa
hata tayari wamepatia William Ruto bill. Vile wakati ule walipatia Wetangula alipatia Raila bill. Itampatia kwanza 1 billion. Ndio.
Those are hearsays.
Hii watu ndio wako kwa biashara kama hiyo ni hearsay hawa. Saa hii wamepatia Ruto bill. Wetangula mwenyewe amepatia Ruto bill kwanza a deposit 100 million kwa account ndio waongee.
Na mheshimiwa, hayo ni madai tutaweza
maneno yako hiyo una evidence. Sisi tunaongea siasa general.
Ni madai tunaweza kudhibitisha hapa katika
NTV. Hiyo madai yenye huwezi dhibitisha hapa.
Ndio
mahali ambapo iko shida.
Ni uongo.
Kwa sababu tunaongea maneno ya western.
Yes.
Ndio tuna focus national.
Yeah.
Mahali ambapo iko shida ni watu wetu hawatizami kukuza wale youth ambao wanakuja. Na pia kuheshimu mama. Kwa hao wabunge wote wajumbe, kuna mwanamke alichaguliwa, kuna kasumba ya uume, chauvinists. Na ndio unaona ni ngumu sana hata wakae pamoja. Unajua ingekuwa mix mahali penye kuna vyama ambavyo vinaitwa national na ni waerevu. Kuna vile wame make sure at least pale kwa gender wako sensitive. Mwanamke pale, kijana kidogo, you know, lakini sasa mahali tunaangukia.
Na hata umezungumzia kijana na Edwin Sifuna amenitumia ujumbe na kusema waambie wasikize vijana ama tutamwaga maziwa.
Na youth hata mimi niko
kwa hajachaguliwa. Huyo Edwin alisimama kule nomination in Bungoma akaanguka. Akakuja Nairobi akaanguka. Yeye atatuambia kitu gani?
Hapana hata
Edwin yuko 45 years.
It is never dictated.
Never dictated.
It's not
elective office. He's not even a youth, he's 45 years. Mwambie ajaribu kura apite kwanza ndio aongee na wanaume kama sisi.
Lakini usikiza jinsi kazi anavyosema mjumuishe sauti ya mama na kijana.
Unajua hamheshimu kina mama.
Madadangi women ran against me, against Ababu, but they lost. It's democracy.
But in this democracy,
it's not a love affair.
The problem is we are recycling the same people who have no impact. We want younger people wakuje na resurgence.
You are free, my sister, to talk to your fellow women.
So even the older people wanna fail because they are not growing. Our shiki mkono, the younger upcoming young people na women. Na any society ambayo haikuzi wamama, haikuzi youth, iko shida. Iko shida. Na hao ndio wanaenda pekee kwa giza kwa corridor, pekee hao wakigawana huko simsim. Alafu wanarudi wana belch wakiambia watu enough is enough. Na I think it is time as wale bulls nyangumi wakipigania huko, sisi tunataka kurudi chini polepole. Vita ikuangi sio ati kila saa Air Force, hata submarine. Tunataka as lawyers, because umeniita topic ilikuwa what is shida ni nini huko western. Shida ni wale wazee wakuzi youths, hawakuzi wa mama. In fact mtu akiona kuna mama ako independent na kuna vision ya kumliko, utapata kama mimi nilisimama na wanaume karibu 9, utapata hata wanaume 4 sasa wameshikana kunigonga mimi mmoja kwanza. Wamalize ndio sasa waseme at least ni mwanaume amepita. Shida iko. Tuseme tu kweli shida iko. At least tuheshimiane wamama, vijana, wazee, so that tukiongea about development, kama ulikuwa unakuza mpaka na yule mdogo, by the time nguvu yako imeisha, huyu mdogo ameshapata experience ya kutake over. Na juu hatujai fanya hivyo, iko shida. Viwanda vimeanguka, tunarudi kutafuta kazi zenye hata hatufai, na pia atufikirii smart. Unajua si lazima hata niandikwe, naweza andika, nifikiria vile naandika. So tunataka viongozi wawe wanatupa such a path na watu challenge so that we can create jobs.
Rafael Wanjala alienda kwa mbunge akiwa 31 years. Is that youth or not?
Mimi nilichaguliwa nikiwa 33 years.
Alienda bunge akiwa 26 years. Is that youth or not?
Musalia Mudavadi
alienda kwa bunge akiwa 28.
Ukienda kama uko 31 ama 28, how many more have you grown?
Came to parliament at 34 years. Is that youth or not?
How many more have you grown?
Very many.
Bring up.
The MP for support is a youth. There are many.
Wanjala tell him I came to parliament 2013 at 33 years.
Yes.
Lakini
grow leaders.
Sifuna is 45 years. He cannot tell us matter of youth.
This one, I brought up this one. Yeah. Bring factories and let us see even a CEO coming from there. Sio kusema tumerevive Mumias Sugar Company and then sijui CEO sijui anatoka wapi. Hata ajui Waluya wanalia shida gani. You know, it is us to handle our own issues.
Na kuna mmoja hapa.
Tukiacha mtu akwa anakuja kutufikiriria. That's how viwanda every 4 years ama 5 nasikia tu imereviviwa. Why is it being revived every time?
But we want to tell you that it's not members of parliament who run those factories.
Kuna moja taniruhusu Catherine, kuna Moses Abuja anasema ningependa viongozi Rafael na Ayub watuelezee wanapopiga siasa zao. Sisi vijana hapa tunahangaika, viwanda vimekufa, hatuna kazi na tukiangalia hakuna mwelekeo kama jamii ya Mulembe. Ayub, unaweza jibu hata Rafael?
Haya, wacha nianze kwanza. Mimi nimesema national government haitakani ianzishe viwanda. Hiyo si kazi ya serikali. Serikali ni kupatiana enabling environment where private sectors nitakana waje waanzishe viwanda ili vijana wetu wapate kazi. Na mimi nikiwa gavana, hiyo ndio system nitaweka Kakamega County. Na ile ya kwanza nitakana serikali ifanye. Mimi am opposed kwa hii idea ya serikali ya kusema to lease hizi mills kwa private investor. Hakuna private investor mwenye atakuja aweke new plant at Mumias Sugar ama Sony ama Chemelil ndio ianze kufanya kazi, ndio iandike vijana under lease agreement. Tuna contravene COMESA regulation. COMESA safeguard measure inasema privatize the mills. Allow private capital to be injected in. Private capital, me if I'm a businessman, I will invest where I have a long-term solution to investment. Not lease. Lease is a short-term. If you privatize, shares tupatie wakulima. Shares zingine tupatie county government zirun. Shares zingine tupatie a private investor. Tutafufua hivi viwanda na vijana wetu hawatalia mambo ya kazi. So priority ya Minister of Agriculture is upside down. You cannot lease. The COMESA regulations say you have to privatize. Let's follow COMESA regulation to save our youth.
Na manake naona pia muda umetupa kisogo pia
Do you know if you went Western and told the people of Western that you want to privatize their companies, those factories, they will chase you away. He knows. That is why we are leasing. And I want to remind him, even Mumias, as it collapsed, is a private company. Why did it collapse?
Because
why did the railway collapse? Why has KQ been collapsing? Are they not private companies?
Zina collapse because the people who have been given that mandate don't have a passion. Hawana, wameenda kwa sababu wako labda urafiki na mtu. Unajua ukienda mahali umeandikwa kwa sababu wewe ni rafiki ya mtu, hauta deliver. Lakini kuna wale wenye wameshika Western at their hearts. Na hata watu wakipewa hiyo na on merit watakuza. So vitu vinafifia kwa sababu ya leo.
Manake ngoja Mheshimiwa tafadhali subiri tu, manake naeleza kwamba muda umetupa kisogo. Tamalizia tu kwa maneno yenu ya mwisho kuhusu siasa za magharibi na umoja wa eneo hilo.
Kule magharibi, youths, wa mama, wazee, wote viongozi waache ku downplayana. Saa hii watu wanaumia. Hakuna haja ya kuoneshana ati mimi ndio jibabe kuliko mwingine. Sisi tunataka watu wetu upande wa health, mahospitali zikuwe zimesimama. Upande wa mashule tukue na creativity exchange programs za ngambo plus huku tunaleta watoto wana grow wakijua I will be an employer not looking for a job. Na wamama wakue appreciated so that when they appreciate, anashika jua mama wako na soft power, anaweza shika mzaa mwambie baba Rafael Savula no hapa umeharibu na mambo inakuwa mzuri. But kuacha tu hao watu udume peke yao mbele kila saa I'm tired. Nataka mix youths, women and older people to participate in the development.
Na Mheshimiwa Wanjala, manake hata mlipoanza tulikuwa tunaona hampatani.
Sisi hatuongei mambo ya who is going to be president from Western. Sisi saa hii shughuli yetu ni kuhakikisha zile factory vile huyu amesema zimecollapse. How do we revive them? Zianze kazi, vijana wetu wapate kazi. How do we put the Luyas also in government to participate in the development of this country? How do we make sure that BBI inapita? Those are our, so that we expand the executive, so that even the lawyers will be accommodated, so that each community will be in government. We want to unite the country.
Umesema unite the country, je, iko mtaweza kuungana na Musalia na Wetangula nyote pamoja?
Us, we have no problem with them. It is them who have a problem. And we are not competing with them, because you have clearly heard him saying, sisi hatutaki urais. Yes. So hao wanataka urais, hiyo ni kazi yao. Sisi tunataka tuingie kwa serikali, from there Mungu ndiye anajua mahali tunaenda.
Mheshimiwa Ayub, maneno yako ya mwisho.
Sisi tunataka tutengeneze serikali, na serikali iwe ya jamii ya Mluya ikiongozwa na Rais Musalia Mudavadi. Alafu Mheshimiwa Oparanya, kwa sababu vile tulikuwa na Rais Mwai Kibaki, tukakuwa na Uhuru kama deputy. Oparanya kama anataka deputy prime minister, tutapatie kwa hii serikali yetu. It has worked. It has worked elsewhere. Na jamii nyingine tena tushirikiane. Hata tunataka Raila akuja awe prime minister, Musalia awe president. Hiyo ndio tunataka to work out. Kwa maneno ya sugar mills, Mumias ilianguka because county government was not involved. County government of Kakamega haina share yote Mumias Sugar. So mimi hapo Oparanya hangekuwa na nguvu ya kusaidia county ni Mumias Sugar isianguke. Lakini nataka share zile 22% national government inashikilia hapa treasury ziende kwa county government of Kakamega, zipewe Oparanya. Oparanya awe na nguvu ya kushikilia Mumias Sugar Company ya muke. Na hivyo tukiinvolve county government kwa viwanda zetu. Kwa sababu hata ukisema Nzoia Sugar Company mtaka kufufua na Nzoia county government of Bungoma haiko involved kwa Nzoia Sugar Company, still itaanguka. Lazima county government ipewe shares zile from national treasury, zingine zipewe private investor, halafu ndio kampuni run efficiently ili tuandike.
Those are final details.
Na asante sana.
Final details.
Na asante sana.
After sorting them out.
Na asante sana, muda unasi, manake naelezo lazima tutamatishe taarifa zetu za kama kipindi cha NTV. Sasa ni hayo tu, shukrani nyote kwa kufika hapa. Bila shaka
sapatia.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Unajua kutoka tuane, umekuanga na issues na mimi 24/7.
But ni ukweli wewe ndio ulikam na baggage mingi.
Ni kama wais tunaendanga shule fulani ya kuchange our spouse, and yet it just does not work.
Mimi sioni issue unless ni mwisho.
Wacha mwao. Unajua mimi nikigrow budangu na madangu wakuanga pamoja for a very long time, as in like growth yangu mingi sana. So mimi nimegrow na mamangu ndiye alikuanga everything, kukuja shule, kunivisit, everything.
Nigga, I'm helping you bro. Brother, I got you. Darling, I'm helping you. Wakikam kuna kitenge fulani imeshonwa. Wacha wakam.
She never takes anything serious.
This is Fact Finder from the BBC. More Africans are going online, but how do they access information with low speeds and internet shutdowns? A Kenyan MP wants to police Facebook and WhatsApp groups due to offensive content online. So, is your phone listening to you? Myth or fact? We'll find out.
Get an 8-acre prime residential plot with soil merchants in Kisamis along Magadi Road at 148,000 Kenya shillings for cash buyers or 195,000 Kenya shillings for installment buyers. SMS plot to 21595. Chuka University is the ultimate choice. With the state-of-the-art learning facilities, comprehensive curricula, you are guaranteed to achieve your career dreams. Our vibrant student clubs will nurture you holistically. Join our September intake and experience world-class training. Chuka University. Knowledge is wealth.
Imeshika. Chai yenye quality ya kipekee kwa bei nafuu. Faraja Premium Tea. Imeshika.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more. Like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted. And always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola. Taste the simple joys.
Pata 50% extra credo bila expiry ya kupiga na ku-SMS across networks. Piga star 444 star scratch card pin hash. Na kama ni M-Pesa star 444 star 2 hash. Safaricom for you. Ukiambiwa 1 plus 2 10 marks. Uwezi andika 3.
Hebu fanya ujinga, uvae jeans, t-shirt na kofia. Uingie kwa gari, makanga akuitishe fare, umwambie nitakupea tukishuka. Unasikianga? Dondoa moja dere.
Wear your mask and maintain social distance always, and sneeze or cough into your elbow. Book your ticket online via iAbiri and use our cashless payment options to play your part to win the COVID-19 war.
We have continued to receive reports of domestic violence. And I believe that we are in a situation where each one seems to be groping in the dark. There's a certain sense of loss. People are trying to find their feet in this new environment. Life expects responsibility from us and asks us to give the best of ourselves in the circumstances. Our following of Christ the Good Shepherd should enable us to have more compassion and concern for the vulnerable. These are the moments to mind the life of children. May the Lord give us the courage to care for each other and to be brave together, knowing that we are not alone. For the Good Shepherd who shed his blood for us is with us to give us an assurance of life to the full.
Oh my, oh my, oh my days. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Never understood. Never understood. Life can be this good.
This is NTV.
Well, it is the 13th day of July 2020. Thank you so much for making time for us. You're watching NTV at 1. My name is Zainab Ismail, and we have all the stories making headlines across the country and beyond. Now, the number of positive coronavirus cases have shown a steady increase, especially after the president eased restrictions, among them reopening the counties. Kenya has a total of 10,105 confirmed cases, 2,881 recoveries and 185 deaths. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe is this afternoon expected to brief the nation regarding the latest numbers, even as he flags off vehicles donated by the World Bank to the counties. There you have it, live pictures there from the Ministry of Health headquarters at the Afya House. We are expecting them any moment from now. We'll be crossing over live the moment it begins. Well, the burial of the first Kenyan medical doctor, Doreen Adisa, who succumbed to COVID-19, is currently underway at her parents' home in Ndalu village in Tongaren constituency in Bungoma County. Friends, colleagues and family members eulogize her as a passionate healthcare worker. Medics who attended the burial have urged the government to put in place better working conditions for the frontliners as the number of infections rise in the country. The late doctor succumbed to the disease barely 48 hours after she was admitted to Aga Khan Hospital early on Friday. She was in her late 30s. Well, away from that, the Mombasa-Nairobi Standard Gauge Railway has this morning resumed passenger operations more than 3 months after the service was suspended due to the coronavirus pandemic. Kenya Railways Managing Director Philip Mainga said the resumption of operations was done under strict COVID-19 guidelines, including temperature screening, social distancing and hand sanitation. Now, despite operating at half its capacity, the fares have been retained as before in what is likely to further strain the SGR's ability to break even.
Resumption of any service must be gradual. And gradually, we're going to make them, because we are not here to change price. We are here, as we do business, also make sure that we sustain our own customers. You know, those customers have also been affected by COVID-19. Reasonably, you know, also their incomes, everybody has been affected. So for now, we want to operate as we are, as we have been. And from there, gradually we'll be able to examine all these issues through the government and make our case.
Meanwhile, senators are currently in a meeting trying to unlock a stalemate over the revenue-sharing formula that is to be debated in the chamber this afternoon. Sources within the informal meeting tell NTV it has turned into a shouting match, faulting a report to be tabled which reportedly favors Mount Kenya counties. Our senior political reporter Kennedy Mureithi is now joining us live with more details. Mureithi, a very good afternoon to you. Really, what do we expect this afternoon in this session?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Zainab, there in studio. And that informal meeting is referred to as a Kamkunji. And they've been in that meeting since 10 o'clock this morning. And they've been trying to find the way forward with regards to this explosive matter. Actually, I can tell you, Zainab, that this is the most explosive political matter in the country at this particular time. What are they discussing is that this revenue sharing formula, that is the third generation, has caused quite a problem in the country and in the Senate, in the fact that it is actually what has been suggested by the committee is actually being said to be favoring counties from Mount Kenya, and so 27 counties are set to benefit if this particular that generation formula is going to be implemented. So there is a hue and cry from other counties that are going to lose, and these are mostly counties from the northeastern part of the country. And right now, this Kamkunji, they are trying to iron out some of the issues that they will be bringing later on in the afternoon at 2:30, because today's session is going to be a special session afternoon, where senators have been called in to pass this particular matter. We do understand that from last week, when President Uhuru Kenyatta was signing into law some bills, he had actually some unkind words for some of the members of the parliamentary leadership who are there, and he was asking them how come this matter is actually becoming something that you guys cannot handle. But what we do understand is that the political interests in this particular matter can actually change the course of this country politically. Those counties from the northeastern part of the country are set to lose if this new formula that has been proposed is going to come in. So the push has been, Zainab, is that there are those who are advocating for 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling. And this is actually a formula that is being adopted by counties from Mount Kenya, and it seems to have carried the day. But there is the other set that is saying 1 man, 1 kilometer, 1 shilling. And that is what has been advanced even by the former leader of majority of the National Assembly, Eden Duale, where they have been saying that if they went that way, then nobody will be losing in this particular formula. But if they went on this other way, there are these counties from Mount Kenya who have been saying that they contribute more than 60% of the country's GDP, then they need to get more money. Also, there is the politically explosive matter whereby Mombasa and Nairobi counties may lose if this new third generation formula is going to be implemented. So all these political matters are being looked into, and probably they might be coming out in the Senate this afternoon, because we do also understand that also these matters, if they are not looked into properly, they might just jeopardize so many other things. So we are waiting to see what will be happening this afternoon when we are going to be televising it and giving you details in our subsequent bulletins. But right now, we are keeping an eye on it, Zainab, and we'll be giving you up-to-date information on what is happening in the Senate.
All right, thank you, Kennedy Muregi there, keeping tabs on that. Well, meanwhile, Environment Cabinet Secretary Keriako Tobiko is appearing before the National Assembly Environment Committee. CS Tobiko was summoned over the planned eviction of residents allegedly living on Gong Forest land. Let's listen in.
Chair, I raise my case. Honourable members, as we raise our temperatures, kindly let ensure that we have the masks with us. You have noticed that as the temperatures were going up, the mask was going down. Was getting out. Yes, just note that.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. The presentation was long, but anyway, I will try to seek clarification on a number of issues. One, if you go to page 182, I was talking about the legal notice 78, which is dated the 22nd of May 1997, and on the same page of the Kenya Gazette, you realize that legal notice number 79 is dated 13th June 1996, when the CS was referring to Honorable Sambo not having been the minister at that particular time. We sought clarification on what time was Sambo the Minister for Environment and Natural Resources. That is number one. Number two, if you go to page number 247, if you read through that illustration on forest successions, it is reported that a total of 789.8 hectares were left out of the boundaries of Gong Forest Road, Gong Road Forest. But when he has accounted for the lands that was allocated, he's only allocated or shown allocation for 169.57 hectares. So there's a balance of 590 hectares, which is unaccounted for. So if it was left out, where is the land? And lastly, Chairman, I see the effort by the ministry like unwinding a yarn. The public who have acquired that property, they are reported here that there are companies who do not exist or are allocated land. And later the land changed hands from one person to the other. Now generations are passed on this land. How can you wake up one day and destroy people's life?
All right. Well, if you can remember, last month, the Cabinet Secretary for Environment, that is Keriako Tobiko, did say about 800 homes might be brought down as the government seeks to recover that particular land. We'll be getting more details later on in our subsequent bulletins with regard to that. Now, political leaders in Nakuru have condemned the ongoing evictions in Marioshoni area in Molo Sub-County. Led by Nakuru Senator Susan Kihika, the leaders argued that the eviction was unfair since the affected families were not notified. Molo Member of Parliament Kuria Kimani added that the residents were willing to move out voluntarily only after knowing where the forest line is. The exercise targets 5,000 families. 2,000 have already moved out voluntarily, according to the Nakuru County Commissioner. The leaders have urged the residents to maintain peace.
Tutateseka mpaka lini? Tuko pamoja? Tunataka Tobiko aache kudanganya serikali na tunataka Tobiko ashuke mashinani, lakini mambo ya kuongea akiwa Nairobi tunataka iishe, akuje na maofisa atuonyeshe ni nani ameingia kwa msitu.
Huwezi abuka siku moja tu kama kichwa yako ni wazimu useme watu watolewa na hakuna notice. Na wako kwa hizo maofisi juu ya kata si ya kura zenyu. Hawangekuwa huko ndani. Kwa hivyo wapatie wananchi heshima ya kufika kwa ground wakuja waongee na sisi.
All right, well, away from that, ODM party leader Raila Odinga is said to have made a quiet return to the country after receiving treatment abroad, which was in Dubai. Now, according to multiple sources who spoke to the Daily Nation, Raila arrived back at around 10 p.m. aboard a chartered flight in the company of ODM party deputy leader Hassan Joho and National Assembly Minority Whip Junet Mohammed, who travelled last Thursday to see him. The flight, a luxurious Constellation Aviation Airline Airbus, carries about 20 people and costs just over 1 million shillings per hour. The photos of Junet and Joho on their luxurious trip invited mixed reactions from Kenyans, where many castigated the move as the country fought the coronavirus pandemic. Raila had gone out of the country for what the family described as a minor surgery. Now, the government has kicked off nationwide registration of all senior non-pensionable Kenyans aged 70 and above, orphans and people living with disabilities through the Social Protection Fund. Labour and Social Protection Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelagui says the program will help in supporting education to orphans and providing for the aged in every constituency. The Social Protection Fund, which was introduced in 2013, initially targeted people living in informal settlements and counties which were under lockdown. But with the lifting of the ban, the program has now been rolled out nationally.
Tulikuwa tunasaidia wao na shilingi 1,000 kila wiki. Hiyo mradi sasa tumetoa tukasambaza katika nchi nzima. That is a program that we are running now so that we minimize, tupunguze uchungu na ile shida wakati ile inakuja na hii ugonjwa ya corona.
Na hii pesa imesaidia wamama wasiokuwa na kitu, wamesaidia wazee wasio na kitu. Hata hapa Pokot ni chakula yetu ilikuwa ni ng'ombe, lakini ng'ombe akisha mzee geseka wavijana wanapeleka mbali, sasa mzee anapaki nyuma pamoja na mkewe. Na kwa hivyo hii pesa imetusaidia. Kama mkewe rika moja na mama, hii pesa inasaidia mtu na mama analeta kidogo, baba analeta kidogo, anatosha maisha yao na mtoto yao kidogo.
The relaxing of the cessation of movement into and out of Mombasa County has breathed life to many farmers in Gotani Village, Kaloleni constituency and Kilifi County who sold their produce in Mombasa County. On the other hand, Kitui County is characterized by falling food production, low resilience to climate change, rapidly growing population and water scarcity. The combined effects of climate change and rapid population growth are increasing food insecurity, environmental degradation and high poverty levels. Nuru Abdulaziz reports.
It is evident that this farmer, who is a member of Omani Farmers, is satisfied with the progress of rearing improved kienyeji chicken. According to Amani farmers, the relaxing of the cessation of movement into and out of Mombasa County has breathed life into farmers in Gatoni Village, Kilifi County. Alfred Zero, the Secretary General to the 25-member farmers group, said they had conducted market research and had it not been for the coronavirus, their farming enterprise will have alleviated their poverty levels.
Mambo ya corona ilianza tarehe 16 mwezi wa 3. Tayari tulikuwa tumepata cheki. Na tulikuwa tayari tumekaa mpaka tumeamua tuanzishe mradi wa kuku.
For some time now, many farmers in the neighboring county had to devise ways to stay afloat during the cessation of movement due to the surging cases of coronavirus diseases in Mombasa County and the country at large.
Yani lazima kulipwa. Na hata tukiangalia sahihi vile ilivyo ni mzigo mkubwa sana kuona kwanza hata wanakikundi sahihi kuonekana mna mikutano kama hii inakuwa ni vigumu sana. Kwa hivyo naomba serikali ikiwezekana itusaidie.
Meanwhile, in Mwingi, Kitui County, small-scale farmers are urging the government to help them enhance food security in production of crops and livestock. The combined effects of climate change and rapid population growth are increasing food insecurity, environmental degradation, and high poverty levels in the area. Recurring droughts have diminished water supply, rendering many rivers seasonal and drying them completely. This has led to the decrease in food production and supply.
For the next 5 years, ninatarajia kuona small-scale farmers wakiwa katika mstari wa kwanza katika food security, kwa sababu tukiangalia vizuri tunaona ukulima katika nchi yetu ya Kenya over 70% ni small scale farmers. Lakini tunaona serikali sana sana inazingatia tu mambo ya irrigation na large scale farmers.
The farmers are also urging the government to cushion them against the effects of economic contraction occasioned by COVID-19, desert locusts invasion and bad weather. Kitui County is characterized by falling food production, low resilience to climate change, rapidly growing population and water scarcity. Nuru Abdul Aziz, NTV.
Now, chili farmers in Kitui County are amongst those counting heavy losses due to the disruption of supply chains owing to COVID-19. That's a story we'll be bringing you in just a moment. Let's take a quick break here on NTV at 1. We'll be back with that and much more.
It's not been the same since schools closed. To face exams and not be fully ready for them. The worry of lagging behind in studies. It's not the same to teach them from home when all they want to do is play. Tufungue njia elimu iendelee with free access to KICD approved content with Safaricom Digital Learning and Shupavu 291 from home. Students in primary and secondary school can keep up with their studies from home. Unlock free access to KICD approved content learning and revision material from home with Safaricom Digital Learning and Shupavu 291 today. Dial star 291 hash for more information. Tufungue njia elimu iendelee.
Dad, what's titration?
Remove of dirt from the water.
Dad, that's filtration!
Welcome to the Cynics Android TV lounge.
It is elegant. Angalia your design, exclusive. Oh wow, you don't even have to put a wall bracket.
Yes, these promotions will be running from the 15th to the 21st of July.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
At Stima Sacco, we are a reflection of you. We are a stable, financially sound institution providing tailor-made services to add value to your life, time and money. We are guided by your aspiration. We are Stima Sacco, a true reflection of you.
Explorers of the night, wale wase wa kuhustle usiku, kustreama movies, music mix diehards and gaming fanatics. We've heard you. It is now your time to fly your flag high. Do what you love, mpaka che na Telkom. Join Usiku Sacco with Telkom night bundles that allow you rule the night at prices you love. Join our tribe, Usiku Sacco Squad. Just dial *544# from your Telkom line and select the night bundle of your dreams. You are the legend the night needs.
Well, thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching NTV at 1. Now, chili farmers in Kitui County are amongst those counting heavy losses due to the disruption of supply chains owing to COVID-19. The farmers now hope that the gradual reopening of the economy and resumption of air travel will help breathe a new lease of life into their businesses. Our reporter Leila Mohammed with the details.
Jacob Mbeti and his wife come to this part of their farm every day to check in on their chili peppers, which they stored in sacks a few weeks ago. The chili farmer in Chuso, Mwingi North, says he's not sure how soon he will find a market for his produce, which he's afraid may...
All right, we understand that the briefing at the Ministry of Health has begun. Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe is currently speaking. Let's just cross over live and get more details from there.
Even though this is what is happening, I still want to urge calm and to say that as opposed to popular opinion, or opinion in some cases, we are in control. The counties are still in control, and God has been kind that we have not been overrun by the demands. The health system is still functioning in a manner that we are happy about. Obviously, we have challenges, as can be expected, but so far, we are managing to do what needs to be done. But one of the aspects that is crucial in the management of COVID-19, obviously, is contact tracing. Fellow Kenyans, contact tracing is a critical tool for controlling the pandemic through interruption of transmission chain by early detection of the isolation and isolating the cases. At the time of response to an alert on a suspected case, contacts are listed for follow-up and investigation, and close contacts are tested, and the rest are followed for 14 days. I must say that this has not been an easy task. I congratulate our rapid response and surveillance teams for this great work they have been and continue to do. Initially, we were using telephone calls to get in touch with the contacts, but we are now rolling out a web-based application which is linked to the Kenya Electronic Medical Records. All the counties are required to have rapid response contact tracing. So far, there are 229 teams all around the country and in all counties. The National Response and Contact Tracing Team is currently conducting training for those teams on the usage of the web-based tool and data management. One of the biggest challenges is logistics support, including transport for the county and some county teams. Ladies and gentlemen, today, as we continue the fight, I'm delighted that the contact tracing team is receiving a major boost from our development partners. It is my pleasure to preside the handover ceremony and distribution of rapid response vehicles to various counties. These vehicles have been procured by the COVID-19 Health Emergency Response Project in my ministry at a cost of some 200 million shillings. Transport has been one of the key challenges identified, especially in accessing the rural areas as the government works at providing quality health care. These vehicles, to be handed over to 13 counties, will boost capacity in contact tracing and surveillance as we work to curtail the spread of the virus in the country. The counties identified to benefit from this support include Nairobi, which will get some 2 vehicles, one for Kenyatta National Hospital and the other for the newly formed Nairobi Metropolitan Services. Others are Mombasa, Kiambu, Kajiado, Machakos, Nyeri, Migori, Busia, Uasin Gishu, Nakuru, Taita Taveta, Elgeyo Marakwet, and Kisii. The overall project and the outcomes are designed to assist counties to prevent, detect, and respond to the threat posed by COVID-19, and then to strengthen the national system for public health preparedness and responsiveness. The project was selected for COVID-19 financing because of the strategic place Kenya holds when it comes to global connectivity and travel and the risks posed. The project is provided through the World Bank Group Fast Track Facility as part of the global COVID-19 multi-phase program approach. Swift detection of an outbreak, assessment of its epidemic potential, and rapid emergency response can reduce avoidable mortality and morbidity, reduce the economic, social, and security impacts. Failure in the rapid mobilization of financing and coordination of response results in unnecessary casualties and significant socio-economic consequences. By focusing on the containment, diagnosis, and treatment of patients, the proposed project seeks to control the disease outbreak and limit the socio-economic losses. Critical interventions are needed to reduce morbidity and mortality rates from existing and emerging infections, curtail the outbreak of COVID-19, and mitigate the social impacts of the outbreak. The development of the National COVID-19 Preparedness and Response Plan includes strengthening of Public Health Emergency Operations Center for the effective, efficient emergency response for multiple hazards, strengthening surveillance and information systems. It also aims at increasing laboratory capacity, improving infection and prevention control, as well as case management, improve disease surveillance, and emergency response in the country. Turning to COVID-19 statistics today, we had a challenge with our server because of power outages, but nonetheless, we still managed to test some 1,205 samples, out of which 189 people have tested positive in the last 24 hours. Thus, we have now 10,294 people who have now tested positive in the country. This pushes our cumulative figures to 216,242. 106 of those are male, when 83 are female. Or the youngest is 5, and the oldest is 71. Nairobi continues to have the higher figures, recording 147, Kiambu at 20, Machakos 11, Kajiado 5, Mombasa 2. Obviously, because of the challenges that we had, it means that we are holding samples that we have not tested in the last 24 hours. And these things happen. As you will remember, Yesterday we had the highest figure at over 7,000 tests. The distribution of these cases in terms of sub-counties, especially for Nairobi, are that Dagoretti North has 77 cases. Embakasi East has 10, Madaraka has 10, Embakasi South has 9, Kibra has 9, Embakasi West 6, Langata 4, Kamukunji and Kasarani all have recorded cases. And in Kiambu, the 20 cases come from Kikuyu, and 2 cases. Machakos have 11, mainly in the Athi River area, and in fact in a place as far as Masinga has now recorded cases. Gatundu South, Githunguri, Juja, Rimuru have all got a case now. In Kajiado North has 4 cases. At the same time, I'm glad to inform you that 65 patients have been discharged from various hospitals, bringing the total to close to 3,000 at 2,946, the number of recoveries in the country so far. However, today, I'm also saddened to inform you that we have lost one of the higher numbers at 12. 12 patients have died as a result of COVID-19. All the 12 are here in Nairobi. 3 of the cases actually died at home, and the rest of them are in the various hospitals, which tells you, ladies and gentlemen, that the people being affected are more, as expected. As you can see, the patient's age is across the board, and all these deaths are from essentially community-based deaths. And this is the number, this is the highest number of fatalities that we have recorded in a single day. That is not good news, and our condolences go to the families of those who have lost loved ones. Finally, I would like to now hand over the vehicles that we have been given. But before I do so, that we are giving away, sorry. But before I do so, let me pose for 1 or 2 questions. So because when we do, we will not be coming back. Yes.
I am Mark Namasa from KTN News. On Friday, we did a spot check at Mbagathi and Kemri. We were told that if you wanted to walk in and get tested, you go to KNH and pay 5,000 shillings. My question is, what about people who cannot afford that amount? Because we found a family of 7, and they said they had been in contact with a positive case, and they all needed to be tested. We followed them to KNH. They were also told the same thing, because we also post as prospective people who needed to be tested. So 7 times 5,000, that was 35,000. They didn't have that amount. What happens to the rest of the Kenyans who can't afford that?
Okay.
Hello, my name is Eunice Omolo from NTV. I have 2 questions. The first one is the attitude among Kenyans is they're still in denial that we have COVID-19 in the country, as much as today we've registered the highest number, the 12. So does this mean that the government has not reached, or what effort has the government put to ensure that Kenyans are brought into the reality that COVID-19 is here? Then the second question is in regards to, in a week's time, we've had over 2,000 increase in the number of cases in the country. Did the government gamble with Kenyans' lives by opening up most of these amenities? Thank you.
My name is Dorcas Wangera from Citizen TV. This morning we have established that 22 nurses have tested positive in Pumwani Maternity Hospital, and they say one of the grievances is that they have not been given adequate and quality PPEs. What is the ministry's next course of action? And my second question is, now you're seeing more cases. Is there a likelihood of more mass testing drives, particularly in Nairobi, as it was before?
Final one.
Thank you. My name is Mohammed Ali from TV47.
The numbers keep rising even after the ban of the cessation of movement. Is this an indication of more and more infections? Secondly, there have been a lot of complaints and concerns about capacities in counties. Is it a concern to you as a ministry? And lastly, what is your projection on the numbers moving forward? We had some projections some times back, but where do we stand at the moment? Thank you.
Asante sana. Thank you very much. Let me start with the last one, whether the numbers rising is a sign of more and more infections. That is actually what it is. It is actually more infections. That's why we are reporting them. It's higher and it's expected. As we said earlier, more than a month ago, we took a month ago when people are saying, Kenyans were demanding that we open the place up and we cease cessation of movement a month ago. We said no, because we wanted to have two things happen. One of them is counter preparedness, and the other one of them is counter preparedness, and the other one has to do with education of people, education of Kenyans, so that they understand the implication of what is going on, what they must do in order to protect themselves. Because the question is, if you lock up another 1 month and another 1 month, what is the additional asset you're adding to the country? Is another month and another month going to make Kenyans more and more aware? Which Kenyan is not aware now, who is going to be more aware in another 30 days? And I would like to imagine that there is a limit, there is a time that comes. And we said it, and we said we are going to have more increase, we are going to have increased cases, particularly if we don't take personal responsibility and protect ourselves. I had a question, I think it's Dorcas who spoke about PPEs. We have got more PPEs at the moment that we need. So it's a question of individual hospitals and individual units ensuring that they have got them. We have not received any information from the Nairobi management, the hospitals in Nairobi. That is the first time I have ever heard of anybody saying that there is a hospital in Nairobi that doesn't have PPEs. Even next door here has PPEs. So there is no issue, as far as we are concerned, of PPEs lacking. We have got more than enough of PPEs. There is the issue of the denial of Kenyans, that Kenyans are in denial. There is a disease. I don't know which Kenyans you have been talking to, but most Kenyans are not in denial. Those who are in denial, there is nothing you and I can do about. You cannot so that they understand that there is a disease. You cannot put them to prison so that they understand that there is a disease. You know, I mean, there was AIDS, and we told Kenyans that there is AIDS, and people are told there is AIDS, and you can die of AIDS. And the government was at the forefront of informing everybody that there is AIDS. And we will continue, even now as the Ministry of Health, informing you that there is AIDS, and it can kill you. But as you well know, it got to the point where it is left to individual responsibility to deal with this. Now, the information is this. There is COVID-19. Even a little kid in the streets of Nairobi is now singing that they can get it. And you can get it. And we can all get it. Even small children. You listen, they'll be telling you. Who are those other people who we are now told don't know that there is COVID-19? And how long do you think it would take for them to actually know that there is a COVID-19? So as far as I'm concerned, if somebody is in denial, there is not very much that you can do. One of these days, that denial will disappear very fast. Because even some of the ones that we have been told, even nations, even countries have told us that they are in denial, that there is a COVID-19. There are some countries that actually declared there was nothing like COVID-19. But very big people there died of COVID-19. If you go to the same places now, nobody is in denial. So we don't want to have a situation where it is only after we die that we cease to be in denial I think you can help them. The media. And I like the expose that was done by one of the papers today, almost 5-6 pages, of explaining to people, this is what you do when you go there, this is when you do what you do when you go to the other place, you know, and you are told the disease is here. We have even gone further, and we have been brutally honest. In fact, we are being accused of, we are being told to soften a little bit, not to tell people that if you are in his county, you cannot be flown into Nairobi. The truth of the matter is that you cannot be flown into Nairobi. Not because we don't want you to come to Nairobi. We would love for you to come to Nairobi. But we are telling you that there is a high possibility that by the time you are thinking of coming to Nairobi, there will probably be no beds in Nairobi because of the number of cases that will be there. And this is something we are borrowing from what we have seen in most of the other countries on earth, including today's figures as we read about, if you watch CNN and other media, what is happening in the United States. So it is a question of preempting this situation. What we are being is preemptive and looking at people and informing them this is what is likely to happen. And when you say that, then obviously there are those who will be in denial, there are those who will misinterpret to say that we have been overrun, we have been overcome, but we simply are telling people the truth. And I think, as we said earlier, the truth will set you free. I am very saddened about Mark, about the experience that you had, and I can only really apologize to those families that went through that experience, because we have made it very clear that that is not what should happen. I have seen the CEO of Kenyatta National Hospital here. I think he is here. Is Evans here? Yes, Evans is here. So you respond to that, to the issue of whether people are chased away and why. He is here. You respond for himself. Isn't that only fair? It's fair and just. Don't you think so? Yes. Yeah. So I'll give him a chance to respond to that one. And as far as the testing is concerned, I'll also ask Dr. Kuria to respond to that matter of testing. But I cannot emphasize more. I cannot say more that responsibility is not with the government. Responsibility is at the individual level. And I like what I'm seeing with our spiritual community. There are mosques and churches that are simply saying that we are not ready yet, just hold on. That is what is called responsibility. Because if you feel you are not ready, don't do it. So if you are not going to wear a mask and you are not going to keep your distance, stay at home. Maybe that is how you save yourself. So please, do not try and transfer. Don't try and transfer irresponsibility or irresponsible behavior back to government responsibility. That is not right, and it is not fair. May I ask Dr. Kamuri to respond to the issues asked about?
Thank you, Waziri. I don't know what the question was, whether we are still testing in Mbagathi. The answer is yes, but who are we testing? After we have opened up, we have left Mbagathi specifically for the sick. Initially, we had separated Mbagathi to have both the suspects and the sick. At the moment, we have only identified Mbagathi now specifically only for the confirmed cases. And as Waziri said last week, the counties have been equipped with systems how they can sort out the patients within the county. We only want to leave Mbagathi for the very sick, and that's why we have stopped the process of triaging within Mbagathi, because we don't want to expose most people, especially who are coming suspects. We are still doing some testing at Kenyatta. next to a clinic called Clinic 66, but we are still also preferring to test the symptomatic. We don't want the numbers, we don't want people to come to the hospital. The ones who are in the county, we are having a county process. We want the ones in the hospital to be left only for the sick, because when we mix the healthy or the symptomatic and asymptomatic, the exposure becomes more, and that's why we have changed that system, Waziri. About the charges, when you are picked from the county, we are still charging 1,000, but we had put a program for hoteliers. That's what we were charging, the charges we said.
I think, Mark, to be fair to Mark, the question has not really been responded to. I think the correct position is this. When we pick people, particularly when we are doing targeted testing, we don't charge anything. All right. When we are doing surveillances and when we are doing those kind of situations, when we go around doing mass testing and mass testing identified as targeted mass testing, we do not charge anything. However, as Daktari is correctly saying, we are not doing testing for everybody. You know, we don't just go to the streets and start testing around. We test because there is some reason why that area, you know, should be focused and tested. As Dr. Amoth explained, I think it was last week, testing is very expensive. And we don't just for the sake of testing as a government. There are private labs that are testing, and we have urged them that 5,000 shillings is way too much money, you know, to test, to charge people on testing. So the truth of the matter is that we are not charging ourselves. 1,000 shillings is when people go to those government hospitals and present themselves, not because they have been identified as sick, but because for whatever reason they feel that they should be tested. But the government hospitals, we are not charging anything like 5,000 shillings. That is not us. I would like to ask Dr. Kuria to respond to some of the testing issues.
Thank you very much, CS. I think you have answered the question very well, sir. And I would link this to one of the questions that had been asked about attitude. And I was reading somewhere on the social media where someone was asking where the 3,000 figures that we are announcing are coming from. It comes at an important time when we are launching these vehicles for contact tracing and surveillance. And the answer is that those that we are testing are coming mainly from our surveillance efforts, the contact tracing and responding to alerts. And that is what these vehicles are going to be responding to, alerts. Those that are jumping from hospital to hospital, seeking testing, we know there is a clamor for everyone to get tested because it is wrong that the attitude is not there. Kenyans are actually scared now, and everyone is seeking to be tested. But the way they are seeking to be tested is also wrong, because our testing strategy, on the other hand, is different. It is not asking everyone, let me test you, or that anyone comes, I want a test. We cannot afford that. CS has just said it's fair and expensive exercise. So we have drawn out a new strategy, we're calling them targeted, for more focused targeted testing, and it's going to be more syndromic. We are starting mainly with those who are symptomatic, and this will be coming from the alerts that we are receiving from the communities. And at the time that the alerts are sent, then we send rapid response teams to where the individual is. So we don't want individuals jumping from homes to every other hospital. We are spreading the infection even further. And even those who are following those 7, those you are establishing yourselves as contacts already. So we'd want those that have symptoms to call the same number, 719, and a rapid response team will be coming to you and will be tested from site. And as the CS has said here, that testing is free. So those who are jumping, looking for testing in Kenyatta and be charged 5,000, they should have called the RRT team, the rapid response teams. Testing was going to be free. We're also focusing, of course, on healthcare workers. And again, even for the healthcare workers, we want to focus mainly on those who are symptomatic. While we are doing contact tracing, we follow up those that have had contacts with those suspected cases and contacts with the healthcare workers. Again, we are prioritizing this for our testing. So our testing strategy, which is being rolled out as we speak, has clear details and priorities of who we are testing. Where mass testing comes in is when we establish that a certain locality is establishing itself as a cluster of positive cases. Now we want to go and test people there. Most of those have symptoms and close contacts, and if possible then ring fence that area to contain that infection. So we have clear strategies and clear reasons for testing, and that is not to be charged. Hope that answers you. Thank you.
May I just please follow up on Pumwani Maternity Hospital, the crisis? Will it be closed or not now that 22 nurses have tested positive for COVID-19?
The situation will be assessed by the medics, and so far, if we have been able to isolate, I know that we have been able to isolate everybody. I know there is mass testing that has happened in the entire hospital. I think yesterday we isolated 2 more yesterday. So if we are confident that the hospital is clean and we don't have the same situation, then it is not necessary to close the hospital. But of course, the safety of people and the safety particularly of children and infants in the hospital will be paramount and #1 concern. Before we proceed to the vehicles, I would like to ask Governor Tolgos to say something on behalf perhaps of the other governors who are not here.
Thank you, CS and PS, members of the press. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of all the 47 counties to first of all appreciate Minister of Health for the support that they've been giving us on this COVID issue. And CS, I want to also take this time to clear the air, because I've been reading a lot of information that counties are not prepared. Last week, there are a number of counties that they indicated that they don't have ventilators, they don't have ICU beds, and Elgeyo Marakwet was among the list. And I want to confirm today, Bwana CS, that in Elgeyo Marakwet we have 5 ICU beds in our isolation center, and we are setting up additional 3. We have a total number of 11 ventilators. And to just tell the members of the press that they need to visit counties and verify before writing or reporting to the public that counties are not prepared. Again, I think all the support that we received from the ministry, we want to appreciate. The PPEs, as you've mentioned, I want to confirm that we've received PPEs, and whenever we request, we get them. So I want to confirm that. And also on the issue of testing, I think to just confirm that one time there's a young man in my county who called the emergency line and indicated that he was from Mombasa, he came to Nairobi and went to Elgeyo Marakwet, which was a lie, of course, but the team looked for him. The county response team, comprising of the county government and the national government, he was picked and taken to quarantine, and he was tested free of charge. So I want to confirm that. Maybe the only thing, Bwana CS, where we still receive a lot of complaints are the hotel owners, because the charges are still high, but I am sure that will be sorted out. So for me, on behalf of the Council of Governors, want to appreciate, and especially for the surveillance vehicles that we are receiving today, and to still request Bwana CS that 13 counties are receiving, and I know we all need the support. So when you get more vehicles, please consider the remaining counties. But for now, I want to appreciate and to request that we continue working together, and to assure the media, to inform the members of public that counties are ready. Even now, if a case happens in any county, those cases will be dealt at the county level. There will be no referrals to Nairobi or any other hospital. We will deal with them at the county level. So thank you so much, and really appreciate the support.
Asante. Let's go then. Haya, twende. Wacha nikupe gari bwana.
Wewe photographer, toka.
I know you want the cable to go, but
Huyu mjamaa mwangalie. Huyu mjamaa.
sawa. Haya. Kisii. Watu wa Kisii. Haya. Kia wapi? Mombasa. Mombasa County. Kajiado. Nenda kwenda, nenda straight. Hapo sasa. Nakuru. Busia. Mimi ya wapi haina mwenyewe.
There you have it. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe there flagging off the vehicles that are donated to the 13 counties that are benefiting from the surveillance vehicles, which includes Nairobi, which is actually receiving 2 vehicles, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, Kajiado, Nyeri, Migori, Busia, Uasin Gishu, Taita Taveta, Elgeyo Marakwet, as well as Kisii County. Now, in the last 24 hours, 189 people tested positive for the coronavirus, bringing the total number of those infected to 10,294. 147 of those who tested positive are from Nairobi, the highest caseload in the last 24 hours. 65 patients have been discharged so far, which brings now the total number of recoveries to 2,946, and 12 patients have unfortunately succumbed to COVID-19, and all of those are from Nairobi. This marks the highest recorded in a single day. A lot of issues have come out from today's briefing by the Health Cabinet Secretary. We'll be dissecting some of those issues, which include contact tracing and some of the challenges the government has raised. And with that, we wrap up our bulletin this hour. Many thanks for watching. My name is Zainab Ismail. More details later on. Stay with us.